position, so we can again have the palm facing the ceiling. So when she flexes her wrist, she's going to be going against gravity to do that motion. Now the key thing that I want her to do is I want you to make sure that you keep your fingers flat and level. As you bend your wrist, just focus on bending your wrist but not your fingers, okay? It's kind of sometimes hard to do. Okay, so she's able to do that. Go ahead and come right back down. You get any pain with that? Okay, go ahead and try it again for me. Okay, and I can see that she can get through the available range against gravity, so we at least establish at the very least she has 3 grade strength. Go ahead and come back down. Now we can palpate the tendons very easily here, and we can find the flexor Carpi Radialis located right here. Okay, that is going to come down and attach right at the base of the second, third metacarpals. We can palpate it more superficially right here along the crease in the wrist. So go ahead and bend your wrist again, and we can pinpoint that tendon. Good, and come back down. The flexor Carpi Ulnaris, if I just go proximal to the pisiform bone along the crease of the wrist, I should be able to palpate that tendon. So on your practical exam, you may be responsible, or you will actually be responsible for showing us that you can palpate the muscle and tendon, okay? Now go ahead and bend your wrist again for me. I apply my resistance right over the palmar aspect along the head of the metacarpal bones. And now I want you to hold and don't let me pull your hand down towards the direction of the table and floor. Hold, hold, hold. And she's got really good strength. I'd give her a 5 grade. If she did not have anti-gravity strength through the range that she needed, and she's less than a 3, then in order to establish a 2, I would put her in a gravity minimized position. So I would just basically turn the forearm into this position, have you come right here, good. I might even consider putting a towel or maybe even like a sliding board underneath her arm so she doesn't have much friction. And then what I want you to do is go ahead and bend your wrist for me, sliding towards you, good, and then come right back. And if she can get through that full range, go ahead and do it again. We would give her a 2, okay, all right. If she wasn't able to go through that full range at all, and we need to establish a 1, again, we would try to palpate, again, having the wrist in this position and just say, can you try to bend your wrist as much as you can? Now, again, if she couldn't produce any movement, I would be palpating the tendons to feel for any tension in the tendons to get an idea that the muscle is activating either the flexor Carpi Radialis or going to the ulnar side and feeling for the flexor Carpi Ulnaris. Okay? If we allowed her to flex her fingers like this and bend your wrist, we're calling in the flexor digitorum superficialis and profundus, and you could probably feel you might be able to generate more force against me there than if you have your fingers level and now bend your wrist. A little more effort there, right? So there is a big difference, okay? Because again, cross-sectional area of your wrist flexors as a muscle group, 2/3 of the cross-sectional area comes from the flexor digitorum superficialis and profundus. So they have, they can have a large degree of influence on wrist flexion.